How to draw realistic eyes for beginners. Hi guys, welcome back to another tutorial. How to draw eyes for beginners this time. I know it is realistic eyes, but I think everybody can do this. Just follow the tutorial and you will see you will improve your drawing styles. I used the movie of Isabella Swan or Kristen Stewart, and I love her cat look eyes, and I think it's perfect to start with. So what I'm doing here is filling in with a light shade of color. I don't push and have something down to make the eyes more to see where the eyes are, and if I want I can erase it easier. Don't push on your eraser, don't try to scratch the paper because you will draw over it again and again and again. So if you damage the paper, you're stuck. You have to do it all over again. Sometimes you see me use a little paintbrush to feather out the drawing, the stripes, and get an even gradient, an even layer from dark to light without any pencil marks. The eyebrow is I started the eyebrow with a little bit darker. Here you see me just blending it all in. Now I'm back at the eyes. I'm figuring out, looking at the reference photo and figuring out where her upper eyelid starts. And her and the hairs on the top of the eye. She wears mascara, so they are very dark. Don't forget the fold in the upper eyelid. What I see with people who draw for the first time or are not that experienced, they do forget the upper fold, and it won't look natural. You have to have that in place, and you have to look at your reference photo, how much the eye is closed or open. Depends on where you put in the folds. She has a little bit of a lazy cat eye look. You have to look at a lot of eyes and see some people have much rounder eyes, other are more cat-like. I refer to cat-like. I'm using a different kind of pencils, of a different softness of pencils. When I want to go black, I don't push more on my pencil. I just used a softer lead, so I don't damage the paper again. It's very important. When I started out, I always when I want to go a shade darker, I push down on the pencil or put more on top of it, and if I make a mistake, you can't erase it. Use my blender tool. You see me here use the blender tool a lot. I love the blender tool. I sketch with the blender tool. I want some graphite on the blender tool and smudge it all out. Also, don't forget the shading in the eye. The eye is never pure white. There is a shading, the shading from the upper lip, upper eyelid, not lip, of course, is darker than the bottom one. Depends on the light, of course, but normally when the light is from the top, the upper eyelid is always shaded more dark than the bottom one. The pupil, you see me here putting the iris and the pupil in the same tone because she has very dark eyes. Later I will use my softest pencil to put in the iris a little bit, so you can make a little bit of difference, but it's not much in her eyes. But the pupil is always, I repeat, always in the center of the iris. The iris can go to the left or the right, up and down into the eye, but the pupil is always in the center of the eyelid. It can't move. So don't forget it, and it wouldn't look right. It's off if you do it otherwise. Here you see me shading in the bottom eyelid. Put in very dark because again it's a girl and she wears mascara. Some boys do too, but I don't. So it's, here you see me shading the darker of the upper eyelid, and it depends on the light. This was a soft lighting, so the eyes are a little bit darker. The shading is a little bit more. I don't often put really white spots in the eye, what you see on the picture, or it can be done and sometimes it's nice, but I don't do it always. I like to leave it away, the shimmer, the really light spots. Using the kneaded eraser to get some more white from the eye visible. It was a little bit too much. That's the nice thing. If you use a shader, you can do this as much as you want. The kneaded eraser is not to swipe and erase, but it's to dab and erase. You pick up the graphite from the paper because the kneaded eraser is a little bit sticky. Other kinds of erasers you swipe or you erase, but with the kneaded eraser you dab. You put in a point and you dab. But the neat thing is you can also draw white with if you have dark undertone or a gray undertone, you can draw with an eraser. I refer as drawing with the eraser because you make white lines where you want them. It's a neat trick, and if you so like here, I want some white spots where the skin is glowing a little bit, shimmering, or how do you say that? And you can do that with a very sharp pencil eraser or a kneaded eraser if you have one. And this eye is almost complete. You see me in the beginning sketching in both eyes. I always do this because you don't want to finish the first eye before you know where the second eye has to be. Maybe it's a little bit too big, a little bit too small when you put in the second eye, and it's off and you can't correct it anymore. If you are in this stage, you can't correct the eye that much. Here you see me beginning on the other eye. First put in the eyebrow. She has a nice handmade eyebrows, I say. It's not a guy's eyebrows with big brush eyebrows. It's neat, and so you need to copy that. Also, most of the time the eyebrows is a little bit darker at the bottom than at the top of the eyebrow. Don't forget that, and gradually go darker. Don't start with the darkest part first. Here you see me use I believe it was a B3, I believe, and I ended with a B6. The upper fold of the eye, you see me draw here, and the wimpers, the lashes. Here you see me using my pencil to refer if the eyes are straight. The pencil is straight, so you can use it as a measuring tool. And the eye is more like a teardrop, like you see, a water drop. Erasing some stuff again, and filling in with a gray tone, a light color. Don't forget the tear duct, the tear fleshy part of the eye. If you forget that, it won't look real also, so you need to put that in. And I'm looking at the reference photo, looking at the drawing, stepping away from the drawing when I put in the second pupil. You don't want her looking crooked, or it has to be at the right place. Because if you are a little bit off, you will notice. You won't see immediately what it is that is off, but you will see it, and your drawing you won't get the effect you want. Gradually going a little bit darker again, filling in, and again, don't push. And you see me switch a lot from dark pencils to eraser, back again with some dark, erase. Here you see me filling in some shadows, maybe some makeup. Put in a little bit of shadow under the eye where the bottom eyelid is, because it has mass, and there is always some shadow in the bottom eyelid, and there is also some depth at the top of the bottom eyelid. The eyelid has some depth in it, so don't forget that. It's an easy thing to forget. Shading in a little bit more with my blushing tool, with my how do you say it in English? Tortillion is the correct name, I think. Sharpen my pencil. You need really sharp pencils, a sharp point on it for the eyelashes. Again, this is a really soft pencil. I believe I started here with a B5 or 6, maybe a 7, and I used to end with an 8. And here the bottom part of the eyelashes, and also put in some dark at the eyebrow. I don't draw every hair separately. I put in blobs of black and with my mechanical tool I make a little bit of hairs or indication of hairs. You don't have to draw every hair separate. Please don't do that. It would, you can't do that. You go crazy. Also some shading under the eyebrow and at the fold. In the middle you have to be a little bit lighter, because the eye is round, so the eyebrow and the fold is round, and you need to have light to show the roundness. You see me blackening in the iris again and the pupil. Some darks at the bottom. So I hope you enjoyed this little tutorial of mine of how you draw realistic eyes for beginners. I have some other tutorials, also complete drawings of this drawing from Isabella's one. You can find it in the playlist or on my channel. And if you like this video, support me and please subscribe. I need subscribers, again, every YouTuber does, to go on and get better. If you have some comments, please tell me what do you think of this drawing. Is there something you do different? Please tell me. I need to know, I want to know. And if you have some drawings or some movies from your own, I'd love to see them. So comment below. I think I do later this week another of a nose or a mouth. So what do you prefer? Do you prefer something like this where I have already a complete portrait, or do you want to see me draw a nose separately on a nice clean piece of paper? It's all possible. And what do you guys want to know? Where you're stuck? Maybe I can help and give you some tips and tricks how I do things. I'm sharpening my pencils here because I have to put in some shading again, and I really need a really sharp point for this. And you see me now pushing a little bit because I really want black. And for real black I used a Prismacolor, my black Prismacolor. Because if you use real black with a graphite, you will get a graphite shine on it, and I don't think it's nice. If you, yeah, it can be lighter because the light reflects on the shine, and you don't get the illusion of real true black. So I use for real black always my Prisma of my Polychromos black color, not a Prismacolor. Prisma isn't available here, I think. And putting in some finer details around the face with my blending stick, my tortillion. So all you guys, if you enjoy this video, please subscribe, and thank you for watching, and see you hopefully to the next time. Well, that's it. Some erasing again and it's finished. Guys, thank you very much. Bye bye.